obviously you just learned about this idea today, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously it's a little unique. This is Anthony. If you want to introduce yourself real quickly.
Okay. Oh yeah, I forget. I thought it was just audio alone, and then I see the camera. Like,
Yeah, man.
all right. I'm Anthony, and I've known Frankie not necessarily for 10, over how many years? But I remember him.
A decade is how you summed it up when we first came across. Like, we met up today. We got tacos. Some delicious ass tacos.
We got some good food.
That shit was good.
Those tacos were good.
Oh my god.
They had more than one piece of pineapple.
They had more than one piece of pineapple of the al pastor. And but it's been a while since we met up. Period, right? Like just to hang out and stuff. And,
yeah, just randomly actually. It's not randomly, but you were the last person I'd expect to like that, to get close to.
Yeah. It was
that makes sense.
Like we met up at like 1, now it's like 6. After like 5 hours of like hanging out, like it's nice. It's nice because there's no basis to like what we were trying to do. Trying to get some food. But there's one crucial thing that was important to me when I was meeting up with you. And we discussed it already, that like we have these memories of when we were younger. Yeah. Like, cause we used to go to the same daycare. And
same daycare and same elementary school.
Same elementary school, middle school. Yeah, so like we were right like basically parallel to one another in all aspects up until like high school, you know what I mean? And for me, it was one of those things where I just was curious enough where I wanted to satisfy this part of my brain. Not selfishly, like I'm not asking you to, but I'm just trying to see what's up, and it ended up being like an awesome thing. We're here now. I based everything off of this, and I wanted you to be here for this because I don't know, I think it's a unique project for unique individuals, and I think you have a lot of qualities and things that teach me a lot about myself, you know what I mean? And you're an individual that's creative. This guy is the king of plants over here. That's why he's wearing a green shirt. This guy, I let him
that
shirt. But another reason we chose this piece today, last time I did this with a friend of mine, Chris, and he didn't choose this piece. I had a different one, but we went to go pick this up in Bedford. Actually, they got a whole bunch of stuff. I should have remembered the name, but I will. Ultimately, he picked out it. He took his time, and I'm very happy he chose it. Why'd you pick this guy?
You were specific. You asked me to pick out something with plants, and that really catches my attention.
You said there's this feeling you get every time you see flowers. What was that? Tell me.
All right. Well, you said you were very specific on what you wanted me to
select,
right? Yeah. So I figured I'll pick a piece of art that gives me that same emotion, that same feeling that I get whenever I walk into a plant store,
or a garden or something,
a park, somewhere where you're just basically surrounded with nature. You feel that home vibe, not necessarily your home, but it just hits you. It hits you.
Like there's something I learned, like catharsis. I don't know, catharsis is like a feeling when you watch a movie and you get like emotional, like this.
That happens to me all the time.
Yeah, man. Like, oh my god, this shit is so beautiful. Like
shit.
Yeah, catharsis or whatever. I'm a little educated. But it does. That's one of my favorite words I learned in middle school. I had a film class. I don't know if you remember this guy. What was his name? Mr. James?
Mr. James?
Yeah. He taught
he's the dean.
No, not Mr. James there. Nah. This is his teacher. He was black. He had dreads. He taught film and English. He was super amazing. And the one thing I learned about that class is, catharsis. And then I just applied that to everything I did in the future. Like, like when I felt that, like, because I get fucking emotional. Like, I'm an emotional person, ultimately. Yeah. Like, I have that quality. I think I get it from my mother. And, yeah, man, like, it's a mixture of, two qualities, masculine and feminine. And, yeah, man, so when I watch, like, any type of movie, like, it could be, like, a rom-com, romance. It could also be a fucking amazing, just regular film that went crazy.
It could be a fucking Pixar film.
Yeah, I'll tear at the beauty of how hard they worked on that shit. Like, I watched Breaking Bad. This is, like, the 5th time watching Breaking Bad, right? And I just appreciate every shot. Mind you, I don't know shit about filming and stuff, but, like, when I see the shit they do.
Like, how far they're willing to take it.
You respect the effort, the wanting to be different. And it's just like, you just gotta work for that. Like, that doesn't just happen overnight.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You know what I mean?
It's over a lifetime. It keeps evolving.
Yeah, man. And actually, so we got a film going on. Last time we had Superbad, and now we got The Mask. It's gonna be on right here. Yo, can you actually tell me that story again of The Mask? Because I thought that was really beautiful what you had said earlier.
Oh.
Yeah, man. If you want, I'll tell it for you.
Like I said, in mean, from when I was first, you know, how do you call it? When I first got here.
When you first got here from where?
From Mexico, yeah.
Yeah. So
Mexico.
Where part of Mexico are you from?
Cuernavaca, Morelos.
Cuernavaca.
Morelos.
I never heard of that place.
Never heard of it. Mostly Puebla and.
Puebla. My mom is from Atlixco.
Atlixco, yeah.
And,
my stepdad is from
Atlixco, man.
Atlixco, some shit like that.
I started recently communicating with my mom, or not recently. Me and my mom, cool as fuck. Forever, that's my love. My dad too is us. But ultimately, we started talking, and I figured it's important for me to realize where my parents are from. Like, I gotta know
your
that
roots
stuff.
and all that shit.
Yeah, like it's not like I'm traveling every other day, but I need to know, because these things matter to them, just like Brooklyn, New York matters to me. You know what I mean? Like, for what it's worth, I'm born and raised here. You know what I mean? For real.
Yeah.
I'm not like a lot of other people who say that.
Yeah.
But continuing, you're from kindergarten. You came from Mexico to here.
Yeah. When we first got here, I had we'd go visit my mom's cousin, and they had, you know, a bunch of DVDs back when they were popular.
Yeah, man.
And her husband had a whole collection and everything. And one of the movies that really caught my eye was The Mask, because, you know, here's a cover of a guy just wearing a green mask, and you're like,
crazy
okay,
looking, right?
Crazy looking. What the fuck is
and
going
Jim
on
Carrey's
here?
always killing it with everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Always killing it.
But back then, I didn't know them as Jim Carrey or, you know, what the fuck's going on. I just, you know, I popped that movie into the DVD player,
You
saw
were a
that shit.
kid. You were like a movie enthusiast. Right?
No, I was just a little kid, and I found it interesting. And, you know, after that one time, whenever we went to visit, I'd just play it again. Every time, you know, remembering the scenes, everything about it.
Yeah? What's one of your favorite scenes?
Well, you already mentioned the one where he takes like cartoonish form.
Yeah.
And he goes crazy.
His face goes forward and expansive.
Yeah, his eyes bulge out, you know. His tongue rolls out, you know.
Jim Carrey been so funny forever, man. And like obviously he has sophisticated films, fuck all that shit for me. Like for me it was Pet Detective, Ace Ventura, like The Mask, like all that stuff. He did a series film, I think it's called Red Eye or whatever, or something like that.
I'm not sure.
Yes. You know, look, there he is right there, the guy. So I usually put this because I think it's like, you don't gotta look at me the whole time. If you're not looking at me, you're looking at something that really brings you back. You know what I mean?
Does.
Like, man, look at the
you already know what they're talking about, what's going on.
Yeah, man, and it's just you want to just follow the movie just because it's a beautiful movie, and man, Jim Carrey's always been somebody to make people smile, man. If there's something you could do for somebody, it's make them smile. Definitely. And earlier today we were talking about interaction with one another, like how sometimes just saying like, "Yo, how's your day going?" Like it just pick somebody up.
Being considerate.
Yeah.
You know?
And I know like these things get mentioned so many times, but it's just like, when are you going to apply it? Like, when are you going to stop taking it as just like a piece of advice, and when are you going to apply it to your own life? Because I feel like everybody has the best advice, but everybody's the worst at taking it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's amazing. Like, we got to change our habits by like actually doing them. And the more we want to text, the less we want to interact like this. And another one thing.
Some people it's easy. For me, you know, you're good at giving advice, giving it out, like, you know, because you know what's going on and shit. But for you to actually apply that advice to yourself, it's like, okay, hold on.
And because we don't like to be test subjects, basically. Like, we don't want to participate in something that might fail.
Yeah.
We want 100% guarantee success. And if you don't get that, why try? Why try to fail? But that's the whole point, because failing is fucking fun. Failing is the best thing that can happen to you because it just makes you better. Man, I love to, like,
it gives you the chance to know, like, you know, what if you fill out that what if form, you know.
One thing I love to be is wrong. One thing I love to be is wrong. Is it Celine Dion? Right? Yeah, right? Am I wrong? Or Cameron Diaz?
I think Cameron
Diaz. Who's this? Celine Dion is.
I don't know, man. But when I saw the movie and I was my job as a kid, I was like, God damn.
That's what I was saying, but I was saying it. No, what were we talking about?
Being more considerate to others, being more strangers and shit.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's the message I want to send. One thing I covered last time is that being outside is important. If you want that sweater, bro, if it's cold, let me know.
Not just my hands.
Your hands are cold. Put your hands. One thing that was important to me is to get this thing done outside. Mind you, it's a little chilly, a little October weather. You know, we got the December flowers because it's coming soon. Whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whether you hate all that stuff, and whether not anything, it's a time that I think throughout this year will be closer than most months. You know what I mean? Like Valentine's Day, nobody gave a fuck. You know what I mean? Like summer was nothing.
It's like everyone just kind of forgot about all that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, some did try it. Dude, there was COVID-20 was fucking crazy.
COVID was crazy. And I think it'll be one of those things where like at least we'll be home because it was cold as fuck, not because coronavirus. You know what I mean? Like, which is crazy, man. And that's another thing I wanted to discuss with you because how did coronavirus affect you as it started, as it proceeded, and now? Like, you know, like what were your thoughts, fears, anything that's going on? I'm gonna check the camera, but continue talking, please.
I got you. What did COVID do towards me? How it affected me? When it first, it was first announced, it was rumored. No one was for sure what's going on, and I was at that point. I was just like, "That's crazy." It's a little thought.
Yeah.
And it's out there, but you're not like 100%, so you're not that interested into it.
Yeah. Were you worried for like your family, yourself? Of course, right?
No, not at that point.
Oh, sure.
Because in the beginning, no one knew what was going on and whether it was real or not.
Do you trust the news before like Trump?
It's hard. Even before Trump or anything, some things sounded different than others.
Yeah.
Fucking news rewords certain things to make it seem, some other way.
You don't like the news, right? You said it's negative and shit. I think the same thing.
Sometimes you see those clips of like good shit, good news going on and stuff, and you're like, there's hope.
But those don't get clicked on as much as like, the crazy shit. You know what I mean? And I think, man, I used to be really interested in like I try to read as much like when I was in school and stuff, and I'm still in school, but more like physical school, not like online and shit. I try to read as much articles because I was like, the reason I try to read and inform myself on politics is because like it's kind of like why I kind of want to read the Bible. It influenced so many people, and like to to have a hold of a real good understanding of this just creates a stable basis for conversation instead of yelling at one another, blah blah blah. Like when it comes to pure ignorance and somebody's not trying to listen, blah 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 blah. You can't do nothing about that, and like that's up to you whether or not you want to be patient or you want to be rebuttal in a very negative way and start calling each other names and then attack each other physically. Yeah. But I'm not with that shit, man. I'm with this shit. Like man, if you had like say we started off the day good, but if we started to have opposing opinions and stuff, that doesn't mean we should fucking hate each other or like
you're entitled to your opinion. I'm entitled to my own opinion,
man. And it's
just because you may not agree doesn't necessarily make us right or wrong.
That's what I'm saying, and yeah, man. So for me, it's just important to do this. I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be here.
I mean, I told you earlier, I'm having a good time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, man. That's all it's about, Yeah. So what's going on in your mind, man? Like, you got a whole million viewers watching right now.
That's the thing, no.
No, but you got.
I hope, man. I hope.
Yeah, man. Oh, thank you. But I'm saying, like, you have a potential 1 or 2 viewers here, man, and like, what do you have to say to them? What do you have to say to people that are listening? Whether it be some random person that clicked on this by mistake and then like slipped and let it be on for a second, it's like, I like the painting. What do you have to say to that person?
Take a day of your week to like just relax, Mm-hmm. You go through your day, I don't know, your job, maybe you're going through like a bad situation, things are good. Even if things are good, just take one day out of the whole week to just relax, take it easy. Forget all your worries, forget everything that's going on, just relax, just let it sink in.
Spend time with that person that makes you smile, even if that person is yourself. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. Take yourself out to dinner. Take yourself out to buy some flowers. Take yourself out to buy yourself that new cologne because you stink a little. Like, buy yourself that little toy that you want. I buy action figures all the time, but not really like superhero shit. Like I like I said like a lot. So sorry. I like. What I prefer is to buy designer like toys from like Kid Robot. Like I like Futurama a lot. I'm a big fan. All this stuff.
Wow, what's your favorite anime?
Anime? Oh shit, stuff. Future Diary was dope, but Death Note is also really great. I don't get really into depth in anime. But there's a lot of great shit out there. Afro Samurai is really cool. That shit is fucking awesome. And slowly I'm venturing into that world. You know what I mean? But I haven't watched a lot of those like One Piece or
so like Hunter x Hunter.
Oh, you mean like animation? Fuck it, I've been like that. I King the Hill, Futurama, The Simpsons. I've always been a big fan. Rick and Morty's been great.
Funimation, that's what you said, right?
Oh no, I think I talked fast. Oh. But Ren and Stimpy was my shit always, and yeah, man, it's just I love cartoons so much. So well, anyway, what I was saying is buy yourself what you want. Obviously, don't go broke, but you don't gotta buy something, man. Just make a moment of yourself and appreciate life, and it is not all materialistic at all. I'm just mentioning something, but like this to me is paradise right now. Like this is the idea of my coming true, and it's a genuine good time. It's not just this forced thing that I'm doing. Like I just want you to enjoy yourself. I want you to enjoy yourself, and I'm chilling. Yeah, man. How can I say? What's up?
The Jim's trying to get into the club, and his friend, he was supposed to bring him in as well because his friend got the hookup.
Yeah.
But they just allowed his friend, and he's trying to get him, but he'll get kicked out.
Did you see him in SNL with
Yes and no.
with Joe Biden shit?
No, I didn't see.
Yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing. I just watched the Bill Burr and Chris Rock shit. The stand-up was great. Yeah, man. So I wanted to mention one thing. I wanted to ask you one thing. So, not to bring it up again, but I think it's a good moment. You mentioned death earlier, right? And you don't like to really speak of it. You don't have to go into depth of it. And but I do ask, like, sorry, why is there always such a negative connotation on death? Aside the fact that it sucks ass, like celebrities die, you get really sad.
It is sad,
Especially it's definitely sad.
If somehow they influence an idea or belief, they influence your life somehow growing up.
Yeah,
you never see any of them go.
I know Jackie Chan gonna hit me hard. Jackie Chan's dead. Not rest. He's alive and well right now. His last movie was alright. That shit gonna hit me hard, bro. And what about it makes you like? What do you think about that? Like, what do you think happens when you die, bro?
Yeah, I've heard a lot of things, a lot of beliefs. I was watching this documentary with what's his name, Freeman Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. God himself.
Yeah, God
from Bruce Almighty.
Hey. And then I was watching this documentary where he goes, searching, definition of God and what happens after their beliefs. He went literally religion to religion, asking them, practices that they do. And it was really
he did that on his own. He did the whole thing. Oh shit!
It was together, partnered with National Geographic shit.
Man, I think I may have heard that, but that's great. Wow.
It's on Netflix.
What would you learn from it? Like, what are some things?
I still haven't finished that motherfucker.
What have you learned from anything? Like anything so far, or just started?
Overall, a lot of people believe in different things, and it's not bad or good, and it's not right or wrong. It's just beautiful that they have that faith, hope that that this and that comes after.
Man,
there's no exact end to it. You continue somewhere, somehow, heaven or reincarnation, any fucking thing, or that you keep living, among us.
Because we all kind of want to keep living. You know what I mean? Like we all kind of want to keep living.
Yeah, somehow.
Or like exist
immortal.
Past. Yeah,
somehow immortal.
Which is, who knows how that would be, you know what I mean? Like I was watching that show on Netflix where they live forever, I forget what it's called, but it ended up being like the people that are with each other, like they ended up like being with each other forever, but constantly like being with other people, like having sex with other people, because it was just like, bro, we've been together for so long. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I think marriage is a weird thing in America. It's a lot of we could discuss that.
It's a lot of doubts, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of financial ties, a lot of like loopholes and really greedy stuff. Like the capitalism is involved in marriage, you know. But yeah, man, I don't know. Like when I speak of death, I try to not look at the bright side, but just look at how lucky we are to just have this one life for real.
It's one experience.
It's a really crazy thing, man. I think it's like 30% chance. Don't quote me on that. That we were like bound to be born.
But that you had. Yeah, it's fucking interesting, man.
And one thing that's so dope is that I haven't seen you since I was younger. And then
kids.
Before that, we're younger. And it's just crazy, man. Talking with you was really important to me because there's a lot that I learned about myself today. I think we're actually really similar. I think we have a lot of very big similarities. Cool. And I think like the counter part of it is what I want to try to get out, because earlier I asked you what are the benefits of having a single mom, right? But now I want to ask you what are some of the negatives of that? What do you think? And I don't mean to ask that at all, because parents are parents. They do what they do. But what are some negatives, if I may ask, that you can speak of? Because like life is real. I'm not saying that. Like there are bad times in life.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be specific.
There's bad and good, Well, you said bad. So bad effects of just having a single mom. Well, you see her struggling, and that to a kid is never good, Yeah. They could only afford to give you so much, and you just, I don't know, you just don't want to be picky, and you don't want to be spoiled neither. But what kind of kid doesn't want to be spoiled neither?
Yeah, it's kind of like, and then what kind of parent? I'm not saying all parents. There's different type of parenting styles for sure.
Yeah.
But like, every parent wants to give them their child something, or at least make them smile, or if there's problems, there's problems. But like, it's hard, and obviously times have changed. Obviously, like parenting styles have evolved, but there's also a lot of research into parenting styles that are like that lead to different type of children. You know what I mean? Like the best type of parenting style.
Children don't necessarily come with a
like a
manual.
Yeah,
manual.
Definitely.
So don't blame them for getting it wrong sometimes.
Parents that are more authoritarian end up having kids that have higher self-esteem. You know what I mean? But it's hard to be authoritarian when there's a male figure missing in the man. When you have a job going on, when you have multiple kids going on. Like, how are you gonna keep up that authority when it's hard to keep up the conversation? You know what I mean? It's
hard, man.
Yeah, man. And yeah,
like I was saying, sometimes there'll be hard times. It's a struggle because you don't like seeing your parent. Mother is God to the eyes of a child.
Yeah.
So we don't like that. But there's that. And there's always some sense of more responsibility because it's just her basically.
You're an older brother.
I'm an older, but I have an older sister.
I have an older sister, but you have a younger.
I have both.
You have a younger sister?
I have two.
So you're technically older brother.
I'm in the middle.
And a younger brother.
Yeah, I got to play both roles.
Oh my God! So let me ask you, tell me how Anthony's experience as a middle child has been, if you don't mind.
Yeah, like I said, it was good. I got to experience both. I got to see what it was like to be the younger brother. My sister did a great job taking care of me. She was older
sisters are amazing angels. Goddesses. Sorry.
And they're basically the second mothers in the household.
100%. The oldest child is I have no idea of the idea to be an older child, so I know a lot of older children in the household looking at this. It's like, look at this younger motherfucker. But if you're the younger brother in the house, motherfucker, I know you're the middle child, but if you're the younger brother in the house, man, I fucking feel you. Trust me, I do. And it's not easy.
They hold like a responsibility to come out perfect. That way the rest kind of have a role model.
And I'm sorry you were the test child, first child. I'm just joking. But it really is that way, man. And there's no battle to be battled. It's just let it be. But obviously, like, these are things that can't be discussed while you're developing. But I'm just saying, like, if you have the opportunity, if right now you and your younger sibling or younger friend or whatever are fighting, consider the age, consider the differences, and always just talk it out. Talk it out, man, because that's gonna help everything. Like, if you're about to scream, just be like, bro, I could just say what I was saying, not screaming. You know what I mean? But continue. I'm sorry. You middle child. That's my fault for rambling so much. I'm a rambling person, bro.
No, it's my shitty memory too.
It's okay. I think it's really different that you are a middle child. I don't know, like, I just don't know the perspective.
Both perspectives, right? Okay, like I was saying, my sister, she was great. Whenever I was hungry, she'd make me some food. She took care of us, take us to school, help me with my homework when I needed help. It was great. I played the bratty child as well. Yeah. Goofing around my sister, teasing her and all that shit. I did that, man. And then, she moved out. I was heartbreaking, I was like, no, wait, older sister's leaving.
Shit, how did that feel? Because my sister went to college for a little bit, and I ended up missing her towards the end. I called her. I was like, damn, bro.
Towards the end, I missed her. The moment she left, I was like, fuck, she's not here no more.
How did you deal with that? Like, so what was the initial feeling of sadness as opposed to, like, the middle feeling, like the acceptance that she's really gone, like, from the household? How was the difference from the initial to the middle?
Well, when she first left, when she left, I was sad because, like, damn, I thought of it, I'm not going to see my sister anymore. She's not going to be under the same roof. I'm not going to come home to see her. And also, part of me was basically a lot. I was really dependent on her. Yeah. The whole household, had a sense of, So, I saw, that she was gone, and it sucked. It really sucked. It took a while for her to come and visit and stuff. But when she did, I'm like, okay, it's not so bad. It's not like, I lost her completely, or she moved away to, like, some other state, really far away. Not so close that she could come and visit and stuff, check up on her older brothers. And she would, and I'm always grateful for that because it was fun.
Yeah, man. You hold on to those memories. You latch on to those memories because they only last so long. And the day of it, occurring, it's like, damn, bro, like all that time beforehand, just cherish each moment.
Yeah, man. I try to remember to as much as I can. But age does its thing.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck.
And how do you feel about getting older? We're fairly young. We're not viejos. You know?
We're not gonna be young any longer.
Forever, yeah. But I try to think of it as just a continuation of one thing. Like, I don't really think of age as I did before, and that went along with talking to the older people. So like,
you started thinking of it less of how many years went by compared to how much more mature you are.
To an extent,
Wow.
I think it's that life has segments, real strong segments, and that there's real big events that occur that always move you on to the next thing.
Next level.
Yeah.
Thing.
And not in a pessimistic manner, but one way I always kind of put it is life is basically waiting for the next sad thing to happen so you get over it.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? And it's kind of true. Like, we all kind of know there's gonna be shitty things that are gonna happen. Like, things are gonna go away. Like, things aren't gonna be there no more. Like, when you get flowers, they die like almost in a week. You can take care of them. You give them the flower food, but they were going to pass
Does that
away.
even work?
It works. It works for a little, but not forever. Like, it's just trying to prevent the inevitable. You know what I mean? And
It's like life support.
yeah, 100%. But it's good to just appreciate things in the moment, and it's hard to latch onto that idea when you're younger because motherfuckers want to put you in school, which is fine. But there wasn't the stress on this like mental aspect. There was the stress on English, math, science, social studies, home. You know
All
what I
the
mean?
subjects that nowadays
that
you don't
shit.
even apply that to your nowadays life.
I'm sure more schools are applying education. Not what the fuck am I saying?
They are.
Not education, definitely education. But I'm talking about like art, music, and if they're not being funded, they're definitely the things that trigger most kids.
Yeah,
intellectuality.
they don't dig as much as they should into a child's creativity.
Or involve play into things like more active activity, like stop obesity from occurring so much. Like all this stuff is happening because we're sitting in this classroom being focused on less than if you pay money to go to school. Why is public education subpar? Not to say that these teachers are terrible, because some of the teachers I've had in all my public schools are amazing. Some of them are not, but it's a lot of it also is like the amount of work they have to do with these kids going home to different situations.
Yeah.
And a lot of emphasis not being put on those kids. Like there's sections of severity where if you're like troubled, you go to the guidance counselor or something, right? I imagine every kid needs to have a talk with a guidance counselor every now and then.
At some point, yeah.
Especially if they're not having to talk to mom and dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Or guardian, a grandma. So
then there's those teachers that do. You can tell when the teacher actually cares and when the teacher just sees it, but she doesn't even bother making an effort right here.
have you had a favorite teacher? Mr. Williams.
The
Mr.
gym
Williams.
teacher?
No, my film teacher was Mr. Williams.
Okay. Oh, Mr. You finally
Yeah,
remember?
yeah.
Okay.
Shout out to you, Mr. Williams. I don't know if you're out there or not.
No, I have a favorite teacher.
Catharsis.
Yeah, all my teachers looking at it like, what's he gonna say?
Yeah, imagine you know what I mean. He watching the movie,
Right?
Nah, I don't know, but I'm myself. I have a lot of great teachers, man. And it's just little moments. It's not like every day, blah blah blah. She gave me this. Nah, it's like I remember the first time I got mad at somebody, at a teacher. I talked back. Yeah. But you got any teachers? I'll tell you that after.
If I had any teachers that were my favorite teachers, that's hard. Oh, Miss Ryan.
It's Ryan.
She was an English teacher.
Okay.
She continues to be the greatest teacher.
The greatest teacher alive.
The greatest. I'm sorry, I let everyone else down. They're like,
he said all your teachers subpar. All right.
Yeah, it was Ryan. She was an English teacher. She encouraged me to read more. I'm not quite the fucking reader.
Okay. What's the last book you read and when?
The last book I read was a poetry. No, this plant book.
Plant book.
A
Okay.
plant book, yeah.
Nice.
Was
it pictures and thingy, or
no,
was
it was
full
the
literature?
full book.
Oh,
Literature,
nice.
It was con palabras y todo. Yeah,
Alright,
it wasn't no pictures like, ooh, look at this.
Yeah.
No,
Oh.
it was a good, well-written book. I still haven't finished it, sadly. It's How to Make Your Plants Love You.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yo, I heard energy is super real when it comes to plants. I heard you gotta really talk to these motherfuckers and really care for them. Like they're
You
living
got it.
things.
The
They
fact
are
that you
living
say
things, right?
like living things, I'm like, wow, the audacity.
I knew not to say that. Like, oh,
Should I
fuck.
just fucking walk away right
No,
now?
man. This is one thing I learned. This famous study that happened. I don't know if you know about it, but basically, if you put rice in 2 salt shakers, right, and you cover it up really good. Try this at home, kids, or YouTube it to find the actual way to do it. And you put rice in the salt shakers, right?
To keep the moisture out.
Yes.
The salt.
And then you every day get one, pick one up, label it the good one and the bad one, whatever, A, B, C, whatever. And you get the bad one, and you go, yo, go fuck yourself, fuck you, I hate you, blah, blah, blah. Say all that shit, talk that trash, treat that salt shaker
So
like
salt shaker?
it slapped your mother, you know what I mean? Like treat
Mhm.
it bad. But then the next one, be like, hey baby, I hope your day went well.
Yeah.
I hope you're smiling not only on the inside but
Go all
out.
Joey on it.
Everything, yeah, everything beautiful. And watch that in a couple days, more sooner than not. The one that you give negative energy to will develop. It will start turning black.
Like moldy and shit?
Yeah, and the one that's
No way.
I learned it in school, so if they lie to me, they lie to you.
Now you want to
But
go
that's a
home and do
positive
that
thing.
shit.
Try it, please.
Really?
And look it up on YouTube. Seriously, it's a very real thing. I thought when I learned that,
Sounds like you're just fucking with me.
yeah, when I learned that, I was like, damn. That's when I really. I'm sorry, it's called. That's when I really learned that energy is super real. And that you need to have that. And then obviously, like, if kids aren't being like stimulated mentally, like in terms of like hug, outsideness, like care, blah blah, that also fucks up. You know, when you're there's key moments when you come up in when you don't take advantage of those, when parents don't take advantage of those, and they instill negativity or like trauma, they prevent you from being, you know, because you're a human being. You know, like, you know, so shit. I don't know how the fuck I got that topic, but yeah, bro.
What the fuck are we talking about? Reading, teacher, best teacher.
How to make your parents love you. No,
How to make your parents love you.
the plants. Remember the
How to
book
make
we
your
read?
plants love you.
Yeah. What did you learn from that book?
Ah, man, yo, people have such a care and love for their plants.
Yeah,
and
bro.
It does, because plants are used in therapy as well.
Yeah, man. Oh wait, what do you mean? What do you mean?
They're used in therapy.
They're used in therapy.
They're used. in
Oh, I
therapy.
thought you meant they were used to therapy. I was
No.
like, fucking this Danny.
It's fucking therapeutic, man. It
Yeah?
is. Some therapists go like they tell you, oh, go pick out a plant and you know take care of it and stuff, connect to it and stuff.
What?
Yeah.
I never knew about that.
Yeah, it's really nice.
You think plant choice says a lot about people? Yeah.
Just like art choices, a lot about people as well.
Yeah.
So
Clothes, you know, beverage choice.
everything a person does distinguishes how they are, the kind of person they are. Choices, behavior, every fucking thing.
Shit, you're right. And I just try to not analyze people, but just I like to people watch, not people invade. You know, I don't like to invade people's privacy.
My son's over here with binoculars. Here on the
I
rooftop.
love watching
I
people.
love watching.
But I like to see how people interact. Today I was walking around when I was meeting up with you to get the tacos, and it was a 10-minute walk, barely. I didn't put the headphones in, and I was like, let me just listen, because I'll be home a lot lately, especially because of all this stuff and work and school. And it was nice to hear, like, birds, people talking, like the sun was hitting me. Jesus, man, it was a beautiful walk, and
Small little stroll.
small little stroll right through the park. It's a real beautiful view I have. It was a blessing. Man, this is one thing I kind of always say, and who knows if it's my original thought, but what I always like to say to a lot of people is, how often do you look up? You know what I mean?
To the sky?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
For real. Like, how often do you step outside? Like, we go to work every day, right? A to B, A to B, A to B, B to C, C to D, D to A. You know what I mean? And more often than not, you're looking this way. And then if not, you're looking this way. More often than not, to the phone, or looking to the train, or looking to you never look like up. And look up right now, motherfucker. This shit is beautiful. Like, I know that sounds silly in concept, but when you look up, right? Think about how long in your lifetime you're not looking up. And I know it's it's just the fucking sky, but it's just yes, it is the sky. You know,
it
it's
doesn't
not the
get
sky,
as
the
much
ground.
appreciation as it should.
Yeah, and shit's gonna be in the air soon, bro. Shit's gonna be all up in the air. I'm not talking flying cars. I'm talking about drones and other stuff like that. And we're gonna be more invested in what's in there, up there. Somebody's gonna be more invested in what's up there because we aren't. You know what I mean? And that's just gonna be interesting. But aside all that future shit, it's just really beautiful to just look up. Don't look at the sun, but just look up and just think about how often you don't. And it's really fucking crazy The clouds are beautiful. The sky is beautiful, bro. The
Dude,
sky
the colors
is naturally blue.
No, the colors that it makes.
Yeah, man. And
Sunsets and right? How do you call it? Sunsets and
sunrise. Yeah, you said it. But I just mean that, man. Next time you go outside, take a walk in the park, just look up. You think it's corny until you do that shit and you smile. Well, that's what I did.
Nice.
It's my advice to everybody in this whole world. To everybody. Except Hillary Clinton. Just kidding.
I'm like, whoa, damn. It changed quite quickly. I'm like, fuck.
No. But yeah, man. That I know. It goes one of those thoughts where it's like, oh, you guys are high, man. But I love that. I love every time I love like looking up. High, man.
Yeah. I pictured it.
Yeah, I just like looking up and
it's quite beautiful.
And thinking beauty in those thoughts.
Like I told you earlier, as older as a person gets, you start appreciating the smaller things.
Oh, that's 100% right, and you did it 100%, man. Can I ask, when did your infatuation with green begin?
With plants.
Yeah, I say green because all green. They're not all green.
They're not greens. There's some colors that you wouldn't even know how to describe, and that's how species.
That's fucking true, man. Mushrooms, not the psychedelics, but the ones that glow in the dark or some shit like that in the desert. Or I don't know what they're called, but they glow, right? They like literally illuminate. Yeah. What the fuck?
There's so much shit in the world that doesn't get as much appreciation. It should. It doesn't get glorified or.
How did your infatuation start?
With plants.
Passion.
It's a passion. It is a passion. It's a hobby. It's my therapy. When I walk into my room, it feels so fucking peaceful.
I seen you post pictures of the most beautiful things, bro. You have a whole collection of it. You have a forest.
I have a forest. That's what the goal is eventually. You know, just be like, damn, I ain't got no more space.
And eventually, you want to share that forest with everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe come to yourself.
Like,
what's an expensive plant?
Inexpensive?
Yeah. What's an expensive plant? Like
what's an expensive?
Yeah. Like what would cost a lot of money to get? Because I be buying my bouquets, my little single flowers, and I love them in the house. But you know, I just drop a little.
It's just something rare. If it's rare, it's one of my friends. She actually bought a plant like 2 weeks ago, and I convinced her to buy it, even though she didn't want.
I'm done.
But I told her, I'm like, yo, it's right here. It's a pretty reasonable price based on what other people price the plant. Yo, because this plant could go from like 150 to 200, 300, depending obviously how big it is, how grown, and the color and everything about it. And she bought it, and I was really happy for her because you know, you got it.
Yeah,
you know, it's your little baby.
Take care of that shit.
Take care of that shit, or else
it really.
But what makes sense?
A friend of mine.
She did it. What?
She's a friend of mine.
Oh.
That's a plan. Continue, my man.
Anyways.
She bought the plant, she had it.
She was really happy with it.
You know the name of it? No?
Pink. It's called the Pink Princess.
Pink Princess.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Because its leaves are literally pink. It has these little splotches of pink, and each leaf, you gotta wait for it to unroll from the center. And watching it, just unfold, throughout your week, it makes you smile.
I believe it completely, bro.
You can have like a shitty ass weekend. Every day you get home, you see a leaf unfolding slowly, until the weekend.
You get excited for that.
You get excited, and then once it's open, you're just like, wow. It makes you forget like the rest, all the stress and shit that you go through sometimes.
Yes. Yeah, man. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but there's a flower in Japan, if I'm not mistaken, and it's like really like red and like white blotches, and they used it to make the Pokemon Gloom, I think so.
Oh wow.
And
see, that shit influenced.
Yeah. And it smells a lot. It really smells and it opens up. If you take pictures of it. There's one thing they bring around here every now and then, but it's really famous. And that's a cool plant right there. And Venus flytraps are dope. But what are some like in-depth plants? I know you've been knowing some shit, but like, do you know anything like what are some interesting things about plants? And what are some random facts that you have? Because I don't know shit about plants.
I mean, I can't say I know everything.
No, but like any little like. Advice to plant owners, like, so let me tell you, I've been wanting forever to hang flowers on my windowsill.
What type of flowers?
My first problem, I'm lazy. First problem,
first
super
thing.
lazy. Yeah, and
lazy, and you forget about it.
Yeah, you just I'll take a day off. I'll water it later.
Yeah,
it's dead. Second problem, I don't know what type of flowers to get. So if I'm trying to get a flower from my house, right, that's hanging off my windowsill, what kind of flowers do you? Because it gets sunlight every day, and the sun when it's raining. So like what?
Type of flowers.
Yeah.
So you're not looking for like a plant. You're just looking for a specific flower. It has to bloom.
Yeah, it has to come out from the sun. Like I want to plant a seed, some dirt, fertilizer.
You fertilize every now and then, not all the time.
Okay.
Just go to fucking Home Depot. They have a variety of fucking plants. Or just go to your local family-owned. You know, help out the small.
There we go. Go to the
Small guy.
local family-owned spot because that's where you should be spending your money.
Yeah, and it feels more, you know, genuine instead of a big corporation company that's.
Chances are you'll be working with somebody one day wanting to buy a plant. Okay, so I walk into your store, right? Hey man, I want a plant for my house, bro. It doesn't get no sunlight though, but I need something pretty for my girlfriend.
Plants could survive even like the lowest light ever.
Really?
Yeah, plant. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah.
Shit,
just
bro.
get something colorful and just make sure you do your research for it.
Yeah, but I'm asking you though, what's the research I should be doing? Like,
I don't know every plant.
Oh, okay,
that's the thing I said. You know?
I thought it was like universally to all.
No, there's a bunch of spring, summer flowers that you get. You just do the research behind them.
Just take a quick minute to just look up your shit.
Yeah, see how much water it needs.
All right.
I didn't start knowing everything. I learned as I went.
No, I like that you say that because for me, I'm looking for answers. But like, bro, we have phones that have the whole like world in it. You know what I mean? Like, I can literally look it up and be like, hey, this is actually the answer. Like, all right, no, thank you for saying that shit because all this right now that helps me because I want flowers in my house, man. But like, that's why I buy art instead. Because art will last. I'm gonna take care of it, but it fills up those blank spaces in my house, and it really makes me happy, and it makes my mom happy, and everybody. Like just when they come across it, it's nice because it's not just blank wall. This is architect, or artist, either or. His name is Daniel Arsham on Instagram. Right? And one thing he says is that he doesn't feel the need to follow this concept of all furniture being the same. So that sounds kind of weird, right? So basically, he designs like a wall.
It's in somehow his own unique way of art.
So his wall would be like melting in the middle. Like it just looks like that. It looks like the clock is here, but it's weighted to pick the wall down. And so it's really curvy. And it's just different ways of looking at things because we're so used to. I mean, obviously you gotta have money to do this shit. It's not the simplest thing to do. But realistically, we keep everything uniform, kind of like same thing.
Yeah. There's no problem with that too.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Certain ways. Some people just are fine with it, but there are those crazy people that want something different for a change. Want to express themselves.
And most people want to express themselves. This is me expressing myself. This
good.
I'm glad. Know what I mean? When you walk into your plants and you take care of them, that's you expressing yourself.
That's mine. Everyone has their own way. It's just embrace it. Take it in.
Definitely.
Learn a little more about yourself.
That's super important.
Fuck, what was the question for?
But yet we move on.
Oh, look, this is the part where the Jim Carrey's like, God damn, shawty hella fine.
This is where the mask comes off and everything. Yeah. How should you not freak the fuck out when that shit comes out?
I guess he wasn't getting as much attention. Maybe. Just us, the viewer. But yeah, she was. It's crazy how these actors maintain their glow over the years.
Bro,
Jennifer Aniston from Friends.
She looks the same.
She looks beautiful for 50s.
Definitely. I mean, I think the whole thing the mouth gun. the whole idea is that
and it amazes me that people get tattoos done with this part right here, with this art literally pumping the fuck out. I've seen so many
tattoos of Jim Carrey with his heart popping out.
Yeah, on their arms and stuff. I've seen it. I'm like, yo, that's fucking dope, bro.
Now I was trying to say though, like standards of women and men, but more so because the strict command of women needing to be like this bottle-shaped figure, and it arises from men, it arises from men and also people that are profiting off it, men and women profiting off it. And it's an industrial thing, it's a business thing, I get it. But I think now, like,
a lot of people are coming out and expressing themselves. Man.
Yeah, and
just
a lot of people
like
are saying no makeup. A lot of people are saying fuck that shit, and I think that's more important. Like, natural is beautiful, but also makeup is fun. Like, this beautiful sets to both. I don't look down on makeup. I don't look down on no makeup. I just think if it makes you happy, you should do it.
Go ahead, do it.
Yeah, I'm a little iffy on that.
Do you see how creative they get with makeup as well?
100%. It's like art. All right, yo. All right, man. We back. Perfect. This will be the shorter version. little chilly, no?
It is fucking
Little chilly over here. It's New York City weather, yo. That shit fucking makes you grab your balls. Fun fact, I used to play football. And I should have been charging shit the whole time. But anyway, I used to play football. I'm gonna get this recorder first. I used to play football. That shit was fun. I said that shit 3 times. And when I used to play, it was awesome. And one of the things that I got to do when I played football is go to like the All-Star game, like the Queen's All-Star game. And yeah, so just to repeat it, just the microphone picks it up. Played football, went to the Queen's All-Star game. And I'm not like saying that shit like it's special, nothing. I just had a good time. I didn't play that much really, but it was cool. But it was in Jamaica, Queens. And one of the things was, when I was there, it was so fucking cold. Jesus Christ. It was one of the coldest times I've ever been that I had to stand there, right? And as I was standing there, we had like sections of like, you know, you go, then you go, then you go. And I dead ass had my hands on my balls for 3 hours straight, standing there. Because when we were there, I had my football pads on, the pants or shoes, and the whole ground was covered in that crusty ice. It was all ice on the floor, cold wind, standing there. And it was crazy. I was like,
I felt like ice cubes in a fucking freezer.
But one of the craziest things about that was that, like, mind you, the All-Star game was a little weird because it was kind of like the coaches from that school playing their players rather than the players they brought in from everywhere else. Yeah, I can't blame them, but it was kind of like whatever. I'm not talking shit, but that system, yeah, that system needs to change because it was really like disadvantageous to anybody else trying to get into the game. Yeah. Aside from that, one of the things was I went to go get my jersey before the game started, right? I didn't know nobody there too. I went and I was just like, yo, I'm just going. And I went to get my jersey and there was these 2 older men handing out the jerseys. So I go out, give my name, blah, blah, and he gives me the jersey. And I'm like, thank you, right? And he goes, they both go, oh, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh shit, what happened? And they were like, this guy said thank you. He's like, you're the only one out of all these people right here to say thank you. Yeah, what you just said. Yeah. And I was like, oh shit. And I was like, that's crazy. Yeah, and I was like, what the fuck? But I didn't like go on a van. I was just, oh, okay, well, have a good day. Well, I just went forward. And that's what I got from that. Like, how fucking dare, like, you know, everybody be there. But obviously kids are playing, whatever, blah, blah. But I was just a little like, wow. Like, that was long run. That's kind of, what? You know?
You think other people would be like thankful and be like, wow. Yeah, like,
in that moment, like, thanks to my jersey, yeah, I'm going to play this game.
You basically show them how much that means to you.
Seriously. And for me, that was just very interesting how that happened. I was just like, how the hell nobody is racist like that. But this is also just a story, just to, because imagine those 2 guys in, you know? Very interesting, very interesting.
It is. Small moments where you're like, huh, well, how about that?
Yeah. Oh, so let me tell you, man. I'm gonna tell you a story nobody knows. You kept asking me how I developed a relationship with my mother. Yeah. Right? And one thing I wanted to mention was that basically I ended up being close to my mother because she called me smoking weed.
Oh fuck, that's up.
Yeah. And she called me smoking weed in the kitchen. You know, I was blowing to the vent. I was in my bowl. I was like, you know. And she was sad, and it's not till like, you know.
Wait, how old were you?
I was, how old was I? Definitely like within college, you know, like beginning of college.
Wait, right out of high school. Was that the first time that you
No, I had been smoking in the house. I just hanging out.
Oh,
yeah. Damn. But I was respectful for it. Yeah, it wasn't smelling anything. Like, I was smart. I go on the roof, smoke weed. But she called me, and you know, it was there to say. But then in that moment, right? She's like, "Why do you do this? Why do you do this?" And I had a real tough choice to make. I could say some bullshit, or I told the truth. And I told the truth, and my reasoning wasn't like, oh bro, like I'm so sad, I'm emotional, blah, blah, blah. Or like it wasn't like, come on man, this is a drug. I was like, look man, like I actually enjoyed this, and we sat down and had a whole conversation for like 3 hours. Mind you, before that we had never talked that long, so, you know. And then ever since then, and the conversation gets more in depth, gets more real, we just cover all aspects of life. And now me and my mom every single day have a conversation. That's how my parents, I love them every single day. We're closer. We take more trips together. I'm not the perfect kid at all, but I definitely got closer with my parents. And I'm not saying that was the best way to do it. I'm not saying go smoke weed, get caught. No,
exactly.
It just honestly brought out the best in the situation that was not so good. It was selfish of me to be doing that. But in that moment, this is a lifestyle that I live. This is not all weed. This is, I have a whole other life to go on. But I don't look down that drug. A drug that's not supposed to be illegal, and it should be legal in other places. But there are more important things to stress, you know. If there's no weed, there's no problem. But it was just something that occurred to me that really brought out the better side of life, and I thank marijuana for that. You know what I mean? Because me and my mom are way closer because of that. And it's a small story, but it's my story.
That's good.
And I love my mom. You know what I mean? So that the end eventually becomes just that. You know, the love for my mom and how.
Honestly, in that deep ass conversation, you know.
Yeah, facts. Go fuck. My bad. So
I got you.
yeah. But yeah, man, that's basically what happened. And yeah, alcohol sucks though. No, I'm just kidding. It's great. I love that shit.
Just don't fucking abuse it.
That's what it is. Just be fucking careful, man. Just don't drink that drink if you don't want to. Don't drink too much. Be fucking careful because it's dangerous.
And drink for the right reasons.
Always
What
that.
is the right reason?
I mean, the same reason you would eat sugar, the same reason you would fucking do any other thing that's not healthy for you. Like, what's the best way to live life technically? There's a lot of standards, right? You know? But who's gonna follow all those protocols? Not everybody.
You do you, take the risks, whatever.
Yeah.
Do you.
Yeah. And so for me, it's just. I know, bro. I know. One thing I really try to do. You want the jacket? It's fresh. This is a fresh ass jacket. Oh, sorry, camera. Let's get a little view.
This is your jacket?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a little 7-minute video, but a video nonetheless. MSKNYC. The reason I call it MSKNYC is I don't know if you heard of this coronavirus thing. Yeah. But yeah, yo, we back. We back. How you feel, man? What's going through your mind?
Sending you good vibes, man.
Thanks.
I'm just thinking, like, wow, you're doing it, man. You're doing something. It's good. You're taking initiative. This idea, this thought, this dream that you have right now. Go ahead, do it.
Man, I'm just trying to follow my dream, bro. Like, and this is like you said, like I said earlier, a small segment of everything. Like, you know, it's one of many things I can do. But I ain't perfect. Anybody want to send me a tripod? Send me a tripod. Send it to McCarran Park. Oh shit. Clearly I need one. It's all good, bro.
You can use the easel as a tripod, the chair as.
I know, right? Just put the man. So being like to back to the topic to being from Mexico, right? First, do you have any memories from Mexico? I'm not saying you should.
I do have.
Yeah?
I have those memories.
Share them, bro. Please, not like that, but like I love hearing people talk about Mexico because I've never been. And I want to go.
Mexico?
Never.
Damn.
I've been to DR though. Shout outs to Jarabacoa. Had a great time over there, but never been to Mexico. And I would love to go. It's a dream of mine. So what do you think of it? And what's the last time you've been?
Since I got here, I can't go back.
You can't go back, right?
Yeah.
I know.
It sucks, but I hear it's doing good. But memories I have like a couple memories more.
Yeah? How about the food?
Food, I can't remember food, man.
Can't remember the food, right? Fuck, I'm sorry about this. This is dead as my ass was trying to fix the camera the whole time. It's beautiful. Sorry. So what I asked earlier, if I was over there, could have heard me. Because Anthony is from Mexico, you know, and I have no knowledge of that world, and so when I speak of it, like, I think one thing that I struggle with, being somebody Hispanic and from America, you know what I mean, having Mexican in me, Mexican culture in me,
having Mexico in me,
being Mexico,
being Mexico,
is that.
Yeah, you ever had a guy call you that, yo, Mexico?
Yeah, I actually had, and I was pretty upset at him because he was a homeless guy. was a homeless guy.
Like,
he was
yo,
asking for $1. And he was like, hey, Mexico. And I was like, yo, I just got to work. And I was tight. I was like, yo, don't fucking call me that shit. You know what I mean? Not to disrespect being called Mexico.
Like,
but I
who
was
likes to be called
don't
by
sum
the...
me up as that. Yes, yes. And growing up, I think one thing that I struggled with was that older Hispanics are kind of jokingly condescending to younger Hispanics. You know what I mean? Like playfully in terms of gringo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a lot of that. And I'm not a big fan of that. You know?
Who is?
Because, exactly. But I understand, like, it's joking, but it's also like one of these things to make up for the big differences we have in one another.
Yeah.
And I understand that being somebody older, not having a lot, being from somewhere that's pretty tough to come up from, coming here, there's a big difference, you know? But
There's kind of like that resentment.
what do you mean?
Yeah, and people, it's like, you know, they came from nothing, and you know their life was a bit more of a struggle.
OD.
So they resent others who have had it much easier.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a situation.
I think that
and especially, you know, someone growing up here and someone growing up over there, it's a huge difference.
Huge difference.
Huge difference.
Substantially.
So when they look at you, they're like, damn, you know, your life is different than mine. So,
I was talking to my mom about the food they make in Mexico, right? And she would tell me that her mother would take her to this bus stop. And at this bus stop, this is when she was younger and wasn't her time, right? So her mom would never take her if she couldn't afford to buy her anything. But if she could, she would, because
it was like a small treat.
Yeah, and it's like she didn't want her to come, not knowing she couldn't get her. And so she would buy her these tacos. And my mom, the way that she described them, like, it was, like her face just turned like, she was like, I can't even tell you. Yeah.
Like she could taste it. Like
and she was like, I can't even tell you. And she used to work in this factory where they made all type of tortas. She would eat like milanesa and everything, like chicken.
Factory.
Yeah, it was in Mexico. Like, they just made mad sandwiches, and instead of eating out, she would eat tortas every day. And she loves her work. She was telling me that one of the beauties of life right now is that she had enjoyed every single job she had in the past up until now. And no matter how hard she's working, she's always been a big fan of it growing up. And I think it's really incredible. I think it's she said that, like, regardless of the circumstance, like, if you're happy going to work, you're doing okay. That's just a lot more than a lot of other people. You know,
your mom sounds really optimistic.
She's really optimistic, and she's really hardworking. And every time I think I have hard work to do, I always think of my mother and tell myself, I ain't doing shit. I'm doing a fraction of my mom does everything.
Right?
Yeah.
You're like, damn.
And she works harder than most people would in a fucking decade. You know? And not to say you're a bad person if you're not picking that up right now. But eventually you got to. You got to put shit to action. You know what I mean? You got to make it. You got to make it blossom. The only way it blossoms is if you plant it, take care of it, groom it, water that shit.
So you see
a little bit of love.
You see how plants
are
incorporated to therapy?
Oh man, I see.
It's not just fucking metaphorically speaking.
No, it definitely does.
It does. It feels nice, dude. Get yourself a fucking plant.
I will, man. I will. I think I really do need to, because at this point it's just.
People don't connect to nature as much as they should.
Yeah.
And once you do, it's like, wow,
that's a good little entryway. It's a little entryway to get it. I must start with a little cactus.
Little cactus. You can never go wrong.
Can never go wrong with a little pink on there, because it's nice. I like pink a lot. Clearly, it's my jacket. I really hope that you end up, doing something related to, your hobby. You say, in terms of liking plants, stuff like that, because. I will include pictures of what you do with your permission, like onto this as well when I do broadcast it. And I want it to be shown that, like, I'm not saying these is amazing structures that are all unique plants. It's just the way you really love your stuff is awesome.
And the way anyone loves, their certain hobby or whatever.
Every time I see you. But this car, 67%, bro. What the fuck? I'll tell you a story. I don't like cars that much. I don't. I fucking am not a fan.
It doesn't have to be like a guy thing.
Huh?
It's not a guy thing. So you're like, you just figure every guy likes cars.
Yeah, and it's like entertainment. Like, media puts that out. It's like everybody has to like cars, like especially men. But for me, it's like I don't like being in a car. I hate. Like I take a lot of cabs, fucking line completely. But there's a lot of accidents I've been in. You know what I mean? Like,
especially around here, man. A fucking car ran into the front of my house.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
What happened? It ran into the front of your house?
Yeah, like in the gate and stuff. And that shit was damaged on a damaged landlord's car.
Jesus. And nobody was hurt.
a woman was like ran over.
A woman was ran over? Is she okay?
She okay?
Jesus Christ, though, but fuck that shit. Was the guy drunk some shit or what?
I don't know. Oh no, they tried to press brakes, step on the brakes, but they actually just floored it even more.
So they say.
So they say.
Yeah. I was in the car, right? And it was a highway. And it was a 3-laner. And it goes through this, it's like in going on island and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of space. And one thing that happened to me was that we were in 3 lanes, right? So like 3 lanes, right? And there's a tunnel right here, like a quick one. So we passed the tunnel, and as soon as we're about to get out of it, and we're on the left lane, all the way to the left, there's a patch of grass over here. We're going, and the left top tire pops out of nowhere. Bro, out of nowhere, bro. I'm in the car, and that shit just goes, and then it goes like, and I'm sitting in the back passenger seat to the back, and it's like everybody's in the car. It's 4 people, 5 people, and the car goes into the 3 lanes, and then we go across. We spin in circles across to the patch of grass.
Damn, that's really crazy.
And so, mind you, we crossed 2 lanes to the patch of grass. We could have got hit by an oncoming car or something.
Yeah, anything good happens.
And one thing that happened was when we finally finished, we everything stopped.
You guys were in shock.
Yeah, and everybody got out. At first, like for me, I was younger. I was a little younger, and I sat.
Fucking sad. The feeling of adrenaline. You're just like, fuck.
And I was next to my friend, and I asked everybody, okay, everybody good? And they're like, yeah. But one thing was that my friend Jonathan Escutia, shout outs to you, Escutia. I know you're watching. Barely though. No. He was more in shock than I was. He was a little more older than I was. I don't know if it had to do with age or this or that. And honestly, my memory's crazy, so I might be telling the story a little wrong. But that's what the fuck I remember. That shit scared the fuck out of me. Fun fact though, I got to ride in the back of a tow truck that day. Like we got towed because we had to go,
Yeah.
And when they put the car in the back,
and you're just
I was in the
taking
back
ride,
like this.
fucking,
yeah, I'll put up some video.
Yeah,
It was with John. We were in the back. I blasted the music. I connected my iPhone. And I blasted the music in the back. That was fun. But I was being more silly and like ha 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 about it. Not like making jokes about it, but playing it light. But my friend Jonathan was really shook. And everybody else was like, instead of going to the beach, we just went home, obviously.
Yeah.
And it was just really scary.
It's traumatic, bro.
It was really scary. And I've been in a lot of fender benders. Mind you, I don't drive. It's just been with other people in accidents and stuff. But I've been hit by a car. I was trying to cross the street to catch the bus. And mind you, I was crossing the street in the middle of the street. But this guy didn't honk till he was like right next to me, bro. Like, bitch, honk like you weren't looking at the road, motherfucker. Because you were down the road. I'm right here. And I'm looking this way, and then I look and boom, you know what I mean? So,
and then I was jaywalking,
yeah, bro. And then I was a bike on Northern Boulevard, and this fucking taxi driver tries to beat me into the lane and hits me from the back. I go flying, right? I hit the floor, and my first thing was like, I'm good. Everybody like watching from the side of the highway is like, yo, get his license plate, whatever, right? And I ended up talking to the cab driver, right? And I'm like, I'll tell you right now. Fuck this shit. I need a hero in my life. Technical difficulties.
Get it?
We make dreams happen out here. So I get hit in the middle of Northern Boulevard, right? And there's mad cars around. You know Northern Boulevard by Tower Square and all that shit? Queens. And I fall forward and I get up. I check myself. I'm good. I'm not hurt. I had to sneeze. And then I'm like, oh shit, I'm safe. I'm okay. And I look back and the driver's still behind me. So I go to him and I'm like, are you fucking stupid? Like I was just mad. I was just so mad at him. So I go to are you fucking dumb? Like how the fuck you hit me from behind? Like I'm dead ass a bike. You're dead ass a taxi. Why are you rushing to beat me, you stupid idiot? Like you know what I mean? Like why? What's up with the rush? Like my life is worth your fare? Like go fuck yourself. So I start saying this, that, the third, whatever. And then ultimately he says, oh, you broke my bumper. I'm like, bitch, you broke my whole bike. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what is this, So I told him, I'm like, yo, who's going to pay for this wheel of mine? And he's like, nobody, I ain't paying for that shit. And he was like, I'm like, no? He's like, no, I'm calling the cops then. And he's like, you called the cops? No, chill, right? So now it's this whole thing. I'm like, so what's gonna happen, right? So what he ended up doing was taking me to the bike shop. I told him, take me to the bike shop, pay for my wheel, and he did that. And I even let him buy me the cheapest wheel. It was like $110. He paid for it. And on the way, he tells me like, oh, I have a son, blah blah blah. I don't give a fuck, but I kind of did. And he was a Hispanic man, and I saw a lot of my family in him. You know what I mean? And I kind of let him slide. I kind of let, instead of like calling the cops and assessing the situation and all that stuff, because who knows the legality of it? But I'm pretty sure I was in the fucking wrong. Like, you're a whole ass car, bro. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Be careful. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And then I had to ride home that day, and I was terrified. I was shaking, fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah,
Because like that could have gone. So I could have hit my head instead. Thankfully, I fell forward and I twisted. But what if I just went straight forward and just, you know, like really hit my head?
Okay.
And it's just things like that that really terrify me about cars, bro. And what the fuck is that? Is that a plane?
I mean, there's like two over there.
That shit look crazy. But yeah, man. So the cars, that's what I mean in terms of like I don't think I have a fear of them, but like if anybody that's scared to be in the car, trust me, I get you, bro. Because that shit is
not a
scary.
phobia.
It's not a phobia ultimately.
It's
It's
just
against
like
cars.
you're a bit skeptical.
Yeah, traumatic of that. You know what I mean? Nothing crazy, but it's scary. You know what I mean? I don't like it. Clearly.
You know,
Yeah.
shit like that. So we just do it. You know, we can't be scared every time we step out of our house.
Can't be. Fuck it, man. Have you had any experiences that were scary? Any scary moments in your life? When's the last time you were like, oh shit? You know what I mean? Like, you know?
I mean, at work, I'm constantly like out of danger. So
Good.
I'm always careful.
You're in construction, no?
Construction, yeah. I try to be careful as much as I can, you know.
What,
'cause I think
what do you do in terms of like, were you lifting stuff? You're jackhammering?
jackhammers.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
everything?
an all-around person, you know,
Uh-huh.
which is good. I've learned a lot.
Yeah, man. I imagine so.
So
What advice do you have to give to people working construction young, thinking about doing that for the rest of their lives?
don't fucking do it. You gotta get out. Find some other. It's nice because it gets you working with your hands and you learn a lot. You feel it. After a certain time, it's more like a custom. Like you can't stay home and just lay back because it's like, bro, you're used to like doing
Doing
such
a
work
lot every day, right?
every day. So it's
Oh,
like,
I never knew that.
It's
so
hard
you
to-
kind of crave it?
yeah, you
Like,
kind of crave doing some shit.
Oh shit!
Like,
I never knew that of any construction workers. Interesting.
it's good to rest, but during COVID, bro, I did not know what to do with myself.
Were you building shit? Were you constructing the house?
I was damn.
Nah, but what were you doing to like fill that void?
I was plants helped a lot.
Plans something like
Gave me a lot to do.
That's a form of creating.
Creating, just doing some shit instead of just laying in bed doing doing nothing because obviously work was laid off, you know. But it was okay though. You know?
So you would say like, go find something that you love
Go
in the
find
midst
something,
of
do
doing
something.
this.
Yeah, instead of not just letting time pass by.